So first I'll sing a niggin, and then we'll say a word for the Pasha.
Hashem Elokeinu v'yavo v'titen lanu Hashem Elokeinu v'yavo es Kipurim hazeh es yem slicha zoved hazeh es Kegdesh Hashem Kate U'slichila Slicha U'mechila U'slicha I'll call out when they say no. Kate, Umechila, Uslicha. I'll call out when they say no. Leman nerdal meyeshek yadeinu. Ay, 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 ay. V'noshu elecho Lasris chukei ritzenecho. Ay, 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 believe of Sholem. Yato, ya, ya, Ayenai, Rachem Oleinu, Yayaram, Ayaram, Zimecho Rabim, Ayenai, Rachem Oleinu. Praise Chosas Elom. Ayenana ya ya ya. Ayahinam. Shalem. Tirshu avai v'motzei, krov v'yesei korei. Nemar, Yazir Roshodarkei, Mishovet Machshvei Sov. Kriyai v'yoshev veladei Shem, v'yirachameyu v'yelekeinu. Ay, 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 ay. Yazir Roshodarkei, Mishovet Machshvei Sov, v'yohu yoshev el Hashem Elokeinu v'rameu ki yarmel Yisleach. V'yato Alakas licheis, Chanun v'rachum, Erech hapayim v'chesed v'emes, Umar v'leitiv, B'reitzato v'shuaz v'shoyim, v'natoch ofetz b'misoson. Shenevar meleyem chayom yom Hashem Elokim. Elokim Mishuvei דרכיכם מוראים מלמוס עמוסו בייס ישראל
This is a nigun that I usually sing in Kippur Vanilla when everybody's already rushing and wants to hurry up to say Shema Yisrael Hashem Hu Elokim and sing Napoleon's March. Dafke Dembels warmt gewoon de nefesh. They say that the difference between Kwartin and Rosenblatt was Kwartin had zich niet gedacht van fast before Yom Kippur. So Kol Nidre was on a full stomach. It didn't daven so well. I mean, Kol Nidre was, he wasn't on a full stomach, so he davened very well, Kwartin. But Rosenblatt had zich gedacht van fasting, so he was full, his stomach was full, so by him, the Nila was spectacularly, on an empty stomach, it sings a lot better. A lot more air, a lot more power in the bringing out the voice. This is the Aveda that we're talking about in the Mishkan, the Beis Hamikdash, and this is what we're talking today's Pasha. Baha'alotcha Haneres, Aaron, the Rebbe told him that Amul Pnei Hanera Yerushivas Haneres. So Chassidus speaks about that a person is Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam. A person is a spark, a Nitzvah Zeliki, but the Neshama is that spark, and it comes down in the Guf, in the Nefesh Habamis, and you got to light up that spark, because the Guf is Mechase on the Nefesh Holokis, and in order to not only to intimidate and darken it, on the contrary, once the Nefesh, you reveal the Neshama in you, it not only lights up, it shall have a Selam Eleh that until your Nefesh Habamis becomes a Teva Sheni and kicks in, so to speak, Raf Tuaz B'Keach Sheir, and it's just like a korban, and the Guf has the milas from the Nefesh Habamis, from Shem Ban, there's Elah and Shem Sag, it's Mevarer Elah Mateu into Elah Matikun, where there's Elah Matikun is able to uplift the Madregas, and in Elah Matikun you're able to integrate and merge, submerge the nefesh elokis, nefesh habamis, and together they form a partnership of of bringing out the best in each other, so to speak. When you talk about there was the Chanukah Samizbeach and Aron Chol Shodaite that he didn't bring anything for the Beis Hamikdash, and the Rebbe told him Sholachog Dela Sholahem. What you're doing is even more than the Nisim are doing. The Nisim are bringing korbanos, and so to speak, the korbanos is the aveda of to be makir b'korban is the aveda of ispilus midas. That's nehera ukma. It's called a dark. When you burn a fire on the mizbeach, it's a rough fire from eitzim from wood. When you burn the nederes halolu bales chasal nederes, the pach hashemen has to be zach v'noki, and it burns. It's called era chivra. It's a white light. It's a era meir. It gives off tremendous amount of light. So it has the nehera ukma close to the psila, close to where it's burning. It's a shade darker. So the Eibster says you have both milas. You have the mila from the nehera ukma, and you have the mila from nehera chibra, from the white light, the higher light. The higher light is the higher aveda is mechin. There's chochmeh and bina. So chochmeh. So when a person has a spilus, there's two things that happen. When somebody gets excited and dragged along and gets excited in Avodas Hashem. So two things can happen. One, he feels great that he's serving Hashem. He feels great in the Geshmak and Avot Lenin. He feels great that he's davening and his daventzech. But there's a certain amount of the more he learns and the more he accomplishes, the more he's aware of himself. There's a certain yeshus involved in that. It's a good yeshus. It's a yeshus of Torah and mitzvahs. But nevertheless, it lifts you up. You become, and it doesn't need much. When a person learns, and his ava v'yira kick in, his midas kick in, he gets a good head. He gets a chapteris pilus. The less he learns, the more he chaps his pilus, so to speak. But when somebody is chochmeh, when somebody's what chochmeh is bittul. Chochmeh is yesh me'ayin. Chochmeh is when somebody is more a maskil. Chochmeh, the more he understands, the more bittul it's pale on him an elevation of refinedness of submission to Hashem. So the more he knows, the more bottle he is by himself, and kula can make a lechoshiv, because it's a higher level. It's a madrega of chochmeh. It's the bittul is a much more. It's more bittul, and you get uplifted higher, closer to Hashem, so to speak. In that sense, because you're mevatel yourself. So a person in himself, or the pelish chassidus, so to speak, is the aveda of his pilus. Mi singt, mi tanzt, mi esst, mi geht zum Reben, mi is freilach. That's the aveda usually chagas. The aveda from Chabad is the aveda from the Iker is chochmeh, the Iker is bittul, the Iker is haskola in chassidus to horeven a verstehen ha'inyan. That to get connected to the Rebbe, and to Arna Kena Kena Sheyeh Bayom Mahem, that's the bittul of losing your mitzias. Onverzech, to become nothing. You're standing at Ashraga B'Tiriyah Mayahani. You're putting a small light, a spark, in front of the Neshama Klolis, in front of a Rebbe. What are you? You're bottle. The Rebbe once said that somebody asked him why Chabad is not doing in kashrus. Chabad is doing Chabad houses. So the Rebbe gesagt, sollen sie machen die Beichelach, mil machen die Keppelach. So I was thinking as that iskafia is more aveda of nefesh habamis. You shouldn't eat and indulge and ven megushim. So that's aveda from hero ukma. It's like a korban. His hapche is more aveda of after iskafia, after the korban, and after the avedas to be mevatel yourself, you go to a higher madrege. Madrege from his hapche is a madrege of mechin, of chochme, uh, uh, um, so this is the aveda. So when you have his hapche, you lachatchila don't deal with the midas so much. The ikir is the ibergegemkeit in avedas atfila in avedas in limud haTeira mitich shalei l'shmo bo l'shmo. That's why matera machzekes biyodam. That the ikir is the ibergegemkeit that aveklik. But leischas haneres is not so much a mitzvah because it's a filak shein bezod. But leischas haneres is a fact. It's a story. When you light that candle, the fact is that the candle starts to be a fact. It starts to light on its own. Once you light up the neshama, once you light up that soul, and yourself and someone else, it has its own neshama. It lights up. You don't need to. You have to keep on being me'erer, another yid and another yid, and not to be satisfied in the madrega that you are. It should be shal heves or eila, always eila, aliyah achar aliyah, higher and higher and higher. But it has to be me'elah, not mitzvah sadash mulamoda. Me'elah means that he learned it 100 times. This was the seder to learn 100 times. He's learning me'er panim ve'echad and that's higher than all the 100 times. So that's baleshkas hanedes of nu pnei amneda. That's the madreges hachochme, madreges habitl. That all the shiva kana amneda, all the sheva midas is whether it's ave, the mamatul amaylo, whether it's moshach kamayim. The aveda that the tzaddik hador, the kein ashiyeh bayom ha'hem, the Rebbe infuses in us. Our neshama wants to serve Hashem, but that's and even in our guf but the aveda is mamato l'mayla, and that's the aveda from Avraham Eavi, but it's limited. He was before Matan Torah, but it's a mushal on us that mamato l'mayla, there's only so much you could get with your own aveda, but when it's meir milmayla l'mata, it lifts you up. That's connecting to a Rebbe. When you connect to the Rebbe, and you give us a chavet mit bittel from the Rebbe's aveda, and you go out there and befrat when by shluchim we see that the shluchim they're mekarav yidden. Why are they mekarav yidden? Because of their kid comes and asks a person to put on film. Is it because the kid? It's because he has the Rebbe's keches. Because that shliach who goes away, who knows where, and wakes up yidden, and those yidden become. You could see the Rebbe's hand taking them and says, "You're mine," and lifts them up. So this is the shlichus of the Rebbe. The Rebbe can mila zayin no matter mila mato that he lifts, but with this mila mato has to be the aveda of every yid, the arna kein and the tzaddik hador. If we don't apply ourselves, we don't connect. We have to connect. You have to connect the psila, the keli, with the wick, with the shemen, and the shemen has to be purified, and it has to be squeezed, and the aveda has to be, and then when you light a fire, it shines, it's clear, it's Eir Hameir, it lights up yourself and the world around you. This is the aveda that we have. Our aveda from the Beis Hamikdash and the Mishkan, and then he starts talking about Vahi B'Seor and about Golus, that we're in the Midbar, that all this aveda is to even when you're on a journey, not only when you're in the Beis Hamikdash, you're on a journey and you're carrying the Mishkan. It leveled all the fields and it killed all the Choshim V'Akravim. So even when we're not only when we're learning, not only when we're davening, even when we're in business and we're busy with mundane things in the midbar Haggadah Vanir Hazeh, when we have a mishkan and when we wake up in the morning, learn some chassidus and daven, and then we go out there in the world and we're in the Yud Masayis, so to speak. So the masa could be for one day, it could be for 3 days, it could be for a couple of years. But it's all it's. I'm dedicated to Hashem. He tells me stay here and din the Meibesh here. He tells me to travel, I travel. That means that the traveling is not Hashem traveling. The traveling is to Hashem because the Eibishter said Api Avaya, Api Avaya Yisrael, Api Avaya. That's our Aveda. Our Aveda is that every Yid has to know that the what the Ikir is doesn't matter. He's serving Hashem all the time, whether he's in the Beis Hamikdash, whether he's in Shul davening, whether he learns Chassidus in the morning, he prepares the word for the day. Wherever he goes, he spreads a ma'aser from the tzaddik, a word Chassidus, a word nigla. It reminds me there's a word nigla that I heard for Rabbi Soloveitchik that the Moshe Rabbeinu, when the Yidden came and asked him for meat, and he lost it. And he said, "Do I have to carry them like a mother carries her unborn baby? Do I have to feed them?" Moshe lost it. Why did he lose it? So more than when they were dinning Avodah Zarah. Why did he lose it? So he said that when I think that's what he said, or the way I understand what he said, that when somebody is idle and he's searching for godliness, he could make a mistake, but eventually he'll find the right way. He's searching until he finds the right thing that makes sense, and he finds the Eibishter. It's a journey, and sometimes even Avodah Zarah, but he'll get there. But when somebody is indulging in taivas and food, and indulging, it doesn't matter. You give him what he wants, but then it'll take him down even more. So the indulgence. So the Rebbe said, "What's the use of giving them basar?" Beisha said, "Ba'inli basar." So you can see this. That the point is the point is the Rebbe said, if I give them basar, they'll want even more, and they'll indulge even more. Or like Rashi says that they didn't mean the basar, they didn't know what to pick on, so they picked on basar. They didn't know what they wanted. All they wanted is sometimes somebody is a dreta kop und lost it leben und like there's some children they don't know, they just want they just want attention for attention, and then one has to know when you want to learn and understand, and then you could ask questions. Then you could gain the Rebbe, your teacher, ask him a question again and again, and because you want to know, and don't give up and learn again and again and again. That's not indulging. That's trying to learn, understand, and to know more and more and more. But when somebody wants the food, and he wants more food, and he wants better food, and he's thinking always about indulging, that grubkeit doesn't matter if he's a chassid or a misnagid or is anything. You have to clean out the kela. The famous story of the king. I once told the story of Nikolai and Friedrich, I think it was, whatever his name was, the German king, that they spent summer together, and he ate by him a very good stuffing, and he asked him, "Can you give me the recipe?" Then when he came to Germany, when he came to Russia, and he asked his cook to cook it, and it didn't come out, and it stunk, and it was terrible. So he thought that the king wants to poison him. So he sent shluchim to find out. "I'm going to go to war with you if you want to do this to me." So they started looking in, and they found out. Yeah, he told them everything how to make. His cook told the other guys, the king's cook, how to make it, but he didn't tell him that before you would make that stuffing, you have to clean it out. You have to clean out your akshama. You have to clean out your grobkeit. You have to you have to know the ikar is to lernen und the ikar is that to turn a teva und geben tzedakah, Der Iker ist nicht trachten wegen sich und sein Neres Lahoyer, and it's kosher by everyone, not just the K and Aaron K and Godel, but everyone, and there is Halol Kedesh and we have to light our candles in our house, Pesach Besa and Bachutz, to light up the world. Und der Eberste helfen, als durch dem Greisen Ner, soll sein der Eberste Koshbaruch Chama min Artika, v'chulu. I'm going to say a couple of words by Negea to Benos Menachem and the Tznias, and in the internet it was talking about it all the time. And it says by Adonai Kain, by the Kain Godel, that they have to be Zoyer and Tznias, that even the Kain Godel is vulnerable. Everybody's vulnerable. And because everybody's vulnerable, and we all go through all our life with Nisenas, with Mendel Morozov once said, there's a dog, he can't eat any bones, he doesn't have any teeth. So do you think he says he doesn't want the bone? Yeah, he's huffing and puffing, but he can't chew, he doesn't have any teeth. Oh, but the Baltaiva, the Alter Baitavin, the Gresser and Gresser. So Marichas Yom Shon Tevis from Mendel. Every person struggles with his Nisyenis, whether it's a man or it's a woman, and those especially who are involved with chinuch and the public, and they have to be the Kel Shefer. They have to our conscience. They have to awaken our conscience. We should be aware of it. Sometimes I was by a customer. I used to sell fabric, and I had a customer, so to speak, a guy from Morocco, his father Shayid, a very nice person, but the tznius was he didn't wear yarmulke, but he was a frum yid, and his daughter, the tznius was terrible. I used to come into the business, so once they were making long T-shirts, she just wore the long T-shirt, and I walked into the business, and I used to say Advateda, I walked into the business, and I give a look at her, spontaneous. Sometimes I don't think before I say something, and I said to her, "Did you forget your skirt in the house?" Her father was sitting there in the office, and he went ballistic. He said, "Tzodek, nachon, tzodek." He wanted to say something to her, but he couldn't because he didn't have the guts to tell her. But the moment I lit a fire in him and I said it, "Why are you going like this?" Goat Sneezdik, he just blew up. So sometimes parents and don't have the guts to say anything to their children, especially if their own behavior is to be desired. So when the leaders of the school talk about it and demand it and say it, and sometimes too strong, but then the father or the mother in the house could say, "Look, this is what they want. We have to behave. I'm sacrificing for you. You sacrifice for me." The mother says, "I also want to go in the street with a long sheitel and then whatever it is, a beautiful dress, and not the way the other guy. I have a very good chush and talent in dressing beautiful and so on and so forth. But and I want to see something else that I don't know if it's negea or not, but." On my bris, on the side of the letter, where the Rebbe sent a letter to my bris, which was stolen by one of my members of my Ganovim family, I don't know who, but it says over there, as betach yeh ha'inen da shaitel kedepoi. The Rebbe, I assume, wanted to, was fighting even our Russian people. Not everybody wore shaitels. There wasn't any shaitels in Russia. And they were from, but the Misnagdim didn't wear shaitels, and the Russians didn't wear shaitels. They didn't wear shaitels. There was a rabbi in Springfield, Massachusetts. He was a rabbi of 3 shuls. And Eli Eichel Simpson used to come to him every year. Came to him to collect money in Springfield. He came to my shvet. So he walked into the rabbi's house, and the lady walks out without a shaitel, with her hair, and says. Wenn man sucht sagt dem Rav, sagt Rabbi Schenker, bald mit euch sein. So when Rabbi Schenker walked in, I'm sorry, when he walked in, he said to him, "Wurde ich fragen as Ashikse was said as Ashene Midish." He thought, how could it be a Jewish woman? Was geht on a shekel? Wurde ich fragen as Ashikse was said as Ashene Midish? This is a Bashgacha Pratis. 2 weeks ago, my son Mendy was walking in the street in Vancouver, and he met a lady, Ayid. She was with her husband, like a middle-aged couple, and it turns out that she's from Springfield, Massachusetts. Her father was the rabbi in Temple Shalom, a conservative temple, and she is a rabbi in Vancouver by the Zalman Schachter Reconstructionists. And her father sold my Shver, Rabbi Edelman, the house 15 Elwood Drive. How big is the world? And they made up to meet for Shabbos, my son is going to try to do what he has to do. There's a small world, and we're all connected, and we inspire and have a responsibility to all the to not only to Rabbanim and from Allah Madregas, and the Eibishter should help that Anan Pol, the Imam Anan, that we should all. Also, I'm talking about Mendy. Derech Agav, he went in like 2 weeks ago. Didn't have any real clothes. I think he maybe he's bringing too much. He needed some clothes. He walked into a store, and the guy saw him there, and he says, "Rabbi, let me pay for your pants." He says, "Okay." Then he says, "Buy 3 pair of pants. Then buy a jacket. Buy this." Believe me, the matzav is that. Believe me, if he gave me to pay for the rent, would have been even better. But on the other hand, Libe Shel Yisrael, or people give tzedakah, people want to do good, and they want to do the right thing. So getting back to what I'll finish with what they said, that we carry a responsibility as children of the Rebbe, that when we walk in the street and people look at us and they say, "This is a Chabad Chassid, this is a Chabad Chassidah," we should be living examples, and in that prat, we have to try to be better all the time. Not everybody's perfect, but when you say something to somebody and you mention something to somebody, noch to debate it and to find noch reasons that maybe the other way is right and maybe the other way is better, that's a chutzpah she'en kamehu. Mele, a guy comes out and he went out a little too tacky, too sleazy, too strong, but who has the chutzpah to debate it and to say a word against it? And if somebody's talking a davening, if I'm talking a davening and somebody comes over to me, what's rest mit davening? I know I'm wrong. I won't say anything. But if somebody comes over to somebody and says to him, what's rest mit davening? Und jener schreit ihm noch nechet, that's a chutzpah she'en kamehu. And that's what the chutzpah is. The chutzpah is that somebody had the bittul, the mysterious nefesh, to go out there and put himself on the line. And he could have called in parents by parents privately. By the way, I know he did. I know he tried his best. And if he didn't come out in public, it did. I assume that it didn't help. The people, yeah, I'm gonna get weiter. But once it's written in public, and everybody knows, even the people in his school know that this is not a monkey business. This is not a game. They were forewarned. They were told, and they have to take themselves in their hands, and they have to straighten up in their. And by the way, the only avla I think is you should have spoken about the men too. The men shouldn't walk around in the street with kurze Hazlach. They get biking. Get me kurze Hazlach. You come in the country, they go to the swimming pool, they go with their bathing suits on. They don't even bother to put on a robe. It's before the summer now. You have to put on a bathing suit. Not that we're tzaddikim, but we have to try to be better and better, especially when we get older and older. We're tuk b'chaya. Of course, we have to put ourselves out. Tzimehal badem need. We have to try our best. Sign in Gashmi, sign Ruchni, sign Tere, sign Davening. A father should also, in Beglal Tznias, is also to put your towels over your head. Go into shul, put your towels over your head for 10 minutes, for 20 minutes, for half an hour. Think of what Chassidus daven, ba'aveda, whether you daven or you sleep under the towels. The Friedrich Rebbe said, as long as you keep your towels over your head for a period of time, so the children should see that this is the way a chassid has to daven. Rebbe soll helfen, soll sein, ba'aleschas hanedes, soll scheinen, die Edelkeit von Panim, von Lernen Chassidus und Daven und verbringen, und soll sein, Ein Tanzen, Gula Mitzvah Shlema, take of Miyad Mamish.